I've often said that we get games and we get things in competition through competition that we wouldn't ordinarily get, and I actually love that as a bit of a gamer myself, believe it or not. So when Microsoft does something, and they've been doing stuff, and I see articles like Microsoft gets dirty, they bought day one, day and date, the show, day and date, Outriders, they're playing dirty, and I see that, man, I'm like, man, it's about damn time. Honestly, I've been asking Microsoft, and I think a lot of people have been, just go out there and kind of do your thing, spend some of that money, and make the console worthwhile for people to actually go out and get. And I'm glad that they're actually going out there and doing that, and doing these type of things, because it makes it that much better for us as fans as we go forward, and that's a very exciting prospect. Now when it comes to Sony, they're kind of doing the same thing. They're letting gamers be excited about future things, whether it be exclusive games, first party or second party or even third party, and I absolutely love that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And at the end of the day, I feel like what Sony's doing is more appealing to me personally, but that doesn't mean that you have to agree with me in any aspect to that. But this could be one of the biggest things that we've seen so far come out of either camp, and I for one think that it could be pretty game changing. Again, it always comes down to the video games themselves, and I think Sony gets that probably a lot more than Microsoft. But I think they're going to let the kind of games do the talking and all that kind of good stuff. And you know what? I think that's probably the safest bet, so let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. It really does. If you guys are looking for a way to help out, that's great. A like goes a long way. Now, with that being said, I kind of want to get into it about this, because I think that's how all this stuff happens, is they like to make a big splash and things like that. It looks like, according to this anyway, keep it as a rumor, but PlayStation 5 exclusive Final Fantasy is about to be announced next month. A new Final Fantasy game is getting announced at this year's E3 by Square Enix, according to new rumors circulating online. Speaking on the Recent Era forums, somebody who has proved to be extremely reliable in the past in regards to Square Enix rumors revealed that at least one more major announcement related to the series will be coming at E3, alongside updates on already announced titles like Final Fantasy 16. This is what was said. I believe you can expect at least one more major Final Fantasy announcement, in addition to updates on the currently announced stuff, which is 15 or 16 Endwalker and 7 Remake. It should be a good E3 season for Square overall. Elaborating further, he says he believes that we're getting two major Square Enix revealed next month, a PlayStation 5 exclusive Final Fantasy game and a cross-gen Eidos game. He says, I don't know their exact E3 schedule, but I'm guessing based on knowledge of what games they have in development, how far in they are, and their target release dates, so take it with a grain of salt. I believe we're getting two major Square Enix reveals this June, a PlayStation 5 Final Fantasy game and a cross-gen Eidos title. Now, at Square Enix is currently busy developing multiple entries in the series. It will be very interesting to see what this PlayStation 5 exclusive Final Fantasy game actually is. As they've mentioned, Final Fantasy, other titles along there should be getting updates in the next month or so, so it's not like the second part of the remake of Final Fantasy 7. So we know that that's in development, but we haven't seen it in action yet. So the next entry in the series to release on PlayStation 5, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate, an updated version of the first part of the game, the remake that launched last year on PlayStation 4, with the new version coming with visual enhancements, new content, and new story episodes, intermission, which will focus on Yuffie. So again, very cool stuff, very interesting to see, that Sony is going this way. I think that it makes a lot of sense for what they're doing. They're trying to appeal to a certain type of gamer. They're trying to, make a big splash and things like that. And I find that to be, a really smart thing to do. And I also think that, that Sony is very much into the mix and into the know with what PlayStation fans want. So if you think about how successful Final Fantasy VII Remake was for Sony, what did it do? Like 7 million copies or something could be even more than that by now, but they actually extended the exclusivity period on that to keep it off of PC even for even further. So they know that it's very key to kind of keep these things exclusive and things like that. So I find that to be like a very smart thing that they've been able to go out there and accomplish. And how will this work out long term for them? You know, it's hard to really say. You know, I think that it really kind of depends. You know, that they're able to kind of just do what they kind of do. But, you know, for me, this was my first Final Fantasy game, speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, that I actually played. I mean, I played Final Fantasy 15 a little bit on the Xbox One at launch, but I had to stop playing. This was way back before the Xbox One X or anything, and the game was just, I don't remember what the resolution was on the game, but it's one of the few times where things in the background looked incredibly blurry to me, so I just really couldn't get into the game, and it just kind of looked bad. And that's usually not what I do or how I go about things, but that game just kind of wasn't it for me. So, you know, people said that Final Fantasy VII was the best Final Fantasy game, so what I did was I gave that game a chance. Actually, somebody kind of gifted that to me, and then I played it. Wow, so amazing. And one of the things that I liked about it was they changed from the original gameplay, and so now it's more of an action type of situation, and it's very kind of linear, which I kind of like, because I feel like so many games try to just make their worlds exhaustingly huge, like the new Assassin's Creeds and stuff like that, and I can't get into that. I just, you know, that's not my thing. I like some open world games, but I like them in a smaller type way, if you know what I mean. Like, to me, like the Mafia games were the perfect size for open world games. They're open world, but they aren't like so huge that like there's a cajillion things to do and you kind of get lost into it. So yeah, very interesting to see this. I also think that it's very smart what we're seeing out of Sony in terms of locking down like these games with big name recognition this early in the generation, because people that are going to be trying to choose between a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X are obviously going to, you know, oh wow, well I can get the new blah blah blah, you know, and I think that that's probably a very smart game. You know, and I do hope that we continue to see some of these things in the future from Microsoft. And again, I don't think this is anti-consumer. I'm always honest about this. I have to say that, you know, it's really just pro PlayStation. So, with that being said, I'm very curious to hear what everybody thinks about it. Do you think that's a pro PlayStation move? I mean, look, if Microsoft could go buy Bethesda and go make you know, all those Bethesda games exclusive, then can't Sony strike up deals with companies to make games that used to be multi-plats exclusive as well? I don't see the difference between that, to be honest with you. I just think that it's very interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for having me entertain you. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer out.